Okay, so what I did was I tossed the tennis ball over here to strike the dog. He went over to get the tennis ball, and I planted the bumper over here to the left. The grass is probably 8 to 10 inches tall. So now I'm going to send the dog out here. The wind is coming from somewhere in here. Okay, so the wind's going to help us here. I'm going to send the dog out. I'm going to stop him. I'm going to throw a bumper behind his head. I'm going to throw a bumper off to his right. And I'm going to push him to the left. The casting work is basically obedience at a distance. If you do your up-close homework, your dog successfully builds his confidence in you. You can stretch this stuff out and get amazing results at bigger distances. Being 150, 200 yards, 125 yards, we usually stretch them out to 100, 125 yards. I don't know, depending on your hunting situation scenario, you may need that once a hunt, once every 3 hunts. If you're shooting geese in rice fields, you might need it 3 times in 1 hunt. It just depends. You're going to need to train your dog and work your dog and get him and you on the same page up to the distances and the expectations that you have. If he doesn't do it in training for you, he's probably not going to do it while you're hunting. So getting him on the same page with you and getting your distances stretched out, and if lining is more important than pushing him off of marks, working more on lining. If you just want to be able to push him off of marks, work him on that. If your situation is tough, if your dog's in the pit, you can't mark a lot of birds. You may want to work him on cold blinds more. If you don't have a platform for your dog to sit on, or sometimes they're outside of the pit. So train your dog to the level that you think you're going to need him in whatever you want to be able to run him in smoothly. A lot of guys like to run cold blinds, cold blinds, cold blinds. They let the dogs pick up the marks. And then whenever they want to pick the cold blind up, they run a cold blind. Not that complicated compared to pushing off of marks. Pushing off of marks isn't that complicated compared to lining a dog. Just depends on what level you want to do. Heel. Okay, now, I'm hoping I was not in the way of the camera to see what just happened there. I gave that dog an over to the left. He bounced over 15, 20 yards. He bounced over 15, 20 yards, hit that. Started pushing back some towards that I tossed over his head. I hit the whistle. As he spun around, he did a head swing. His nose caught the scent of the other bumper. A lot of handlers let the dog go on in there and find the bumper. However, I already blew the whistle. Myself, personally, you need to stop. I know you smelled the bumper. I hit another whistle, the dog stopped. Regardless of your nose or your eyes, this is my personal hunting dog, Diablo. I raised him from a pup. Regardless of his nose and eyes, he needs to go where I tell him to go. That's the level and standard I uphold him to. That's what I expect out of him. So his eyes saw one go over his head, his eyes saw one go there, his boss told him to go there. He went there, started hunting back. I hit the whistle as he spun around. He tried to pull because of his nose, but it was too late. I already hit the whistle. Stop. Then I moved out of the way so I could make sure the camera could see what was going on. And then I gave him a cast over to the left to find the bumper. It's your choice, whatever you're going to expect out of your dog. I sent him out there. He went out there. I stopped him. And what did he do? His nose, hey, sit. His nose swung behind him. He knew there was a farther bump. He was trying to smell it. However, since I gave him the option, I just said D. He took off. I could plainly see which bumper that he wanted. He wanted the one straight forward. Then when he stopped, he told me again. Back here somewhere, boss. I don't care if it's back there. I don't want that one. I want the one to the right. I push my dog to the right. So, you know, whatever level you want to hold your dog at. Whenever we send these dogs out of here as finished dogs, usually out to 70 or 80 yards, they're in about the 95% range. 100, 120, 125 yards, 80, 85% range. You start up close, anywhere 30 to 50 yards, 95, 98, 99% range. You start up close and decide what level do I really want to uphold my little dog to work at. You can stretch it out to where he's at 125 yards, 150 yards, and he's 95%. That's all up to you. I had him lined back this way a little bit. I figured he would pull to the left. However, he didn't. Now, I didn't give him a back, straight back, and I didn't give him an over. I kind of did this here. A lot of these dogs will learn to take directional backs. It's not that hard to get them to do. Once their confidence gets high in you, you'll be able to give some directional backs, left or right. When I actually sent him, heel. Sits. When I actually sent him, the bumper was here. The dog was lined for here. And I said D, and he ran straight where he was lined for. He caught me on that one. Usually, I know this dog. Usually he would know I picked that one up. He would go ahead and have him a little hook to it. I don't run that many line drills with my own personal dog. However, he lined it well, so I just stopped him, pushed him over to the left. Okay, we're going to do a little more hunt whistle work with Beauty here. We're going to send her out. I've got some bumpers planted 50 yards, 60 yards. We're going to cast her out, get her out there. We're going to stop her. We're going to get her to hunt for him. I'm going to throw a mark off to the side here. I'm going to line her up off of it, send her over here, stop her, and then have her hunt and show you how we would get a dog to do this. Beauty, heel. Come on. So, there'll be a marked bird over there to the side. I'm going to leave it to the open side. So first, I line her up there. Heel. Back. Back. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this bumper, I'm going to throw a straight mark straight ahead where she just came from. And I'm going to stop her about 75% of the way to it. And I'm going to push her off. I've got another one over in the thicker cover planted. I'm going to stop her from this one and push her off of it. And then I'm going to stop her over there. And I'm going to tell her to hunt in that area over there. When you first start working with your dog, if you want to do drills like this, I'd recommend having your mark in one spot and your planted bumper a good ways away. Here, the mark and the planted bumper is going to be about 25 yards apart. I'm confident that I should be able to hold her off of the mark, although I'm telling her to hunt to get to the planted bumper. There's our mark straight forward. Get over. you got to pick the camera up so they can see it. He's already found it. Once, if you get to pushing your dogs off of bumpers left and right, away from bumpers to other unknown bumpers, once you stop that dog and push it off of a particular marked bumper, that dog's going to understand and realize that's the no-go bumper over there. He pushed me over here. He told me to hunt over here. Let's see if she remembers this other mark over there. Beauty. That old nose is an amazing thing. A couple of good head pops, and she's on. Good job, girl. That's a good girl. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set her up here, and I'm gonna put, I'm gonna start and stop the hunt whistle a few times. I've got a tennis ball here in my pouch, and after she starts and stops a few times, without her seeing me, I'm gonna attempt to lob one up that's gonna land by her, or maybe I'll plant one close to her, to me, and then suck her into it and have her hunt as she's coming in. Make sure you got her in the camera there. Good job, girl. Come strong. So, you want to be able to, before you attempt to do your hunt whistle work at a distance, do it up close. Start and stop the dog. First couple times you get the dog going, it's not going to take much. They know the whistle. Just got to get used to the way you're going to blow it. Once you get them going the first time or two, you want them to go, go, go till they find it. Go, 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 go till they find it. Even if you've got to walk that direction and move your hand and help them which way it is a little bit. And after they find a few and they're realizing, you know, they're realizing exactly what the hunt whistle is because you can do it like this. You can more or less start the dog and get her to stop when you want. Then you start starting and stopping numerous times. The reason that I like to do that is because when I get the dog out there and I stop the dog at 75 or 80 yards, and I need the dog to hunt off to the right, and if I give a little bit of a right cast, not an over, just a little bit of a, and that dog starts to go right, then he goes left 25 yards, I can stop him because he done went the wrong way. A lot of times you give a cast, he'll blast 40 yards. So if he's close enough, I'll just kind of give the that way and a, you want to be able to start and stop him numerous times if you need to while he's out in the field. And you start it all real close to you with some tennis balls or a bumper in the thick grass. What you think, girl? All right, what we're going to do now, I've got some bumpers painted at a little bit longer ranges, and we've got some tall grass and some low grass. I'm going to just work the dogs out of the longer ranges to make a couple of retrieves. First one's going to be ran as a cold blind. Dog has no clue. Back. 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 Oh. This particular dog, she leans on her handler a good bit. She'll never blow a whistle off. And while she's going out, some trainers would call it popping. She will stop and ask for some assistance. Heel. Back. So from where I'm at, 6 foot tall grass between me and where the bumper was at. So I stopped her. You noticed on that time too, she also went out farther with more confidence in the handle there's something out here. I stopped her out, give her an over. After I threw a bumper in front of her just to add a little bit of a twist to it, pushed her back, then I gave her an over. When she went behind that taller grass, you know, about like being in the marsh or in a cornfield, sometimes you can't see the dog. Once I pushed her over there, I just gave her the hunt whistle. I watched to make sure she didn't come out on the far side or back out on this side. I knew the bumper was directly behind there, so as long as I couldn't see her, cover over there is 3 and 4 foot tall anyway. As long as I couldn't see the dog, I just kept blowing the hunt whistle. Let her stay in there and hunt for a minute. All right, so I've got another dog. Still got a bumper out here, probably 40 yards. Got another bumper that's in the back corner. I'm gonna say it's 100 yards. I'm gonna use this first one as a poison bird, so to speak, and we're gonna try to work around it. All right. Back. 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 Now, I don't know what caught his nose right here. Something caught the dog's nose right to his right and spun him around. I'm not sure what's there. There may be a tennis ball in there from previous training. So I stopped him there, pushed him back off of it. When he got out, he got to where I couldn't hardly see him. I stopped him and gave him a back. Next thing you know, he blasted out of the cover going to the left. I was slow on my whistle. If I could have seen him, I would have stopped him sooner. Anyway, I stopped him, and then I pushed him back. Got him back there where I would feel he would be far enough. Then I just told him to hunt. It's in that general area and find it. It didn't take him very long because we've got a little bit of a swirl and wind here today. He was able to pick it like that. So still got the one bumper right here, 40 yards. I'm gonna throw him a mark down this path, stop him when he gets close, and suck him in and have him hunt down and find this bumper to the right here. He changed the game on me as he was going past the first bumper. Clearly, his nose stopped him. However, before he can get his teeth on it, I stopped him. I'm pushing this dog off of bumpers enough. Once I stopped him, he looked at me. And notice I give him another teat. Sit down. Take your time. That's what I'm telling the dog. We're not going where you're at. And I give him a back, and he easily pushed off the other bumper. There's a lot of these drills you can do, and depending on the level of performance you want your dog to do, you can get it to where it's quite ridiculous, 100 or 150 yards. You can stop your dog 5 feet from a bumper at 150 yards. However, if you can't stop him at 30 yards 5 feet from the bumper, don't attempt it at 150 because he's not going to do it. Take your time, everything up close. It's a fun game for you and your dog. There's multiple bumpers out here. I know where they're at. You know where a lot of them are at, as in the dog. However, we're going to get the one that I want, and we're going to get it in the order that I want it. Sometimes you may get close to one, I'm going to push you to another one. You get this going, sit. You get this going good while you're training your dog, especially in your dog's hunting environment where you're going to hunt him. You should have a breeze picking up the birds as you shoot in the order that you want to have them picked up. Beauty, come see. Come see. Sit. Sit. Cutie. Sit. Back. Sit. Deep. Deep. Back. Dogs are used to being worked with multiple dogs out. Once you get your dog on the same page with you, I encourage you, go out while one of your friends is working his dog. Make your dog walk the heel. Make your dog sit and watch. It's only going to improve and keep in concrete your dog's steadiness. You have two dogs. You can walk your new dog with your one previous dog and take both of them out, sit them down, walk one forward, work one, and then walk the other one forward and work the other one. The more of this kind of stuff you do, the more blind manners your dog will have as far as respecting 2 and 3 other dogs, hunting out of one blind if you go to that level with them. I think that about concludes it. If any questions about your finished dog, please feel free to give us a call, 228-216-7474. I can be reached at email, aceberry@live.com. Most of the time, I'm out in the field working with dogs or clients, so most of the time I'm not able to answer the telephone. I'll return the calls later on that evening. Thanks.